Tonight, no show.
Bought the tickets back in December. I was really excited to go. They sold out pretty quick.
A controversial comedian won't be performing in Kitchener.
We had a great celebration last night.
We'll hear from people on both sides of this conversation. Going up.
An almost unprecedented increase here in Waterloo Region.
Rising gas prices reflecting the ripple effect.
It's really unfortunate that it's getting this high, and I'm sure it's from the war over there.
Of a war half a world away. Plus, food for thought.
Before we get to even thinking about a ticket, for example, we will go back for reinspection, try the education.
The latest numbers on Waterloo Region restaurant inspections and questions about whether the system is tough enough. Good evening. If you have filled up with gas over the last couple of days, you have likely felt the squeeze in your wallet. Since Tuesday, gas prices in Waterloo Region have risen by around 18 cents a litre. And experts predict it's only going to go up. CTV's Alexandra Hollick has been looking into this for us today. And Alexandra, any reprieve in the fuel price forecast?
Not anytime soon, Tony, and it has to do with the escalating war in the Middle East. And as the situation overseas becomes more volatile, drivers here will pay the price.
The cost of commuting in Waterloo Region is reaching new heights.
Initially, last month it was like 110 something. But now I was in India and I came back after 2 weeks and it's expensive now.
On Friday morning, the price of gas was around $1.46 a litre in Kitchener's Sports World neighborhood, up nearly 20 cents since Tuesday.
It is kind of stressful.
It's pretty high and it's very unfortunate.
Analysts say the tensions in the Middle East are fueling the jump at the pump. Earlier this week, Iran announced the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a vital passageway for 20% of the world's oil supply.
There's a direct connection between what is happening there, the disruption of supply, and the price we're paying at the pumps.
And that's spilling into the global economy.
Paying at the pumps, paying for truckers, paying for transport, but also ultimately paying for even those of us who say we don't drive or have other means of getting around. Everyone is going to have to pay a significant premium.
Experts predict it's only going to get worse, especially with the switch to summer gas next month.
And that usually brings with it an 8 to 10 cent net increase.
As the war rages on, any possible reprieve remains to be seen.
I don't see any end in sight unless calmer heads prevail, and I can't see calmer heads prevailing on either side of this war.
In the meantime, some drivers say they're changing their habits and even trading in their vehicles to squeeze by.
I usually just put whatever $30 will get me that day, and typically I always try to go on a cheaper day if I can. So going at like 9 to 10 o'clock at night always helps.
I had a BMW. I changed because you have to pay more for premium oil. So yeah.
So you changed your car?
I changed my car.
While others haven't given up hope.
We'll just have to hope that things calm down and we don't see any more big spikes.
The price of gas is predicted to rise again overnight tonight, so experts urge those who need to fill up to do so before the clock strikes 12. Tony.
I'm sure a lot of people will be. Okay, Alexandra, thank you. CTV's Alexandra Hollick with the latest on those fuel prices. And we now turn to some unfolding developments with the Iran war. U.S. President Donald Trump says there will be no deal for Iran, only unconditional surrender. Heavy bombardment by the U.S. and Israel continued for a 7th day, with Iran still firing missiles of its own, and all of it throwing the region and the global economy into disarray. CTV's Adrian Gobriel has the latest.
Friday's prayers at Tehran's Grand Mosque punctuate 7 days of war across the Middle East. Spilling into the streets, thousands of Islamic Republic regime supporters protest the killing of their supreme leader. One man holding up a sign that reads in Farsi, "Death to America." As air raid sirens sound in Tel Aviv, warning of an incoming Iranian missile strike, Israeli and U.S. forces have vowed to increase their ever-intensifying onslaught across Iran. The IDF releasing this video a barrage of bombs fired by roughly 50 Israeli fighter jets on the first day of this war. The target, an underground military bunker where Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei may have been killed. On the outskirts of Adana, Turkey, a group of elders hold court at this table. The heated discussion of this day, Iran's right to defend itself after a NATO base in this city shot down an Iranian missile in Turkish airspace. Hassan Berdogan questions, why are we spending money on war instead of helping people? Abdul Rahman chimes in saying he believes Iran has the right to hit any country that has a U.S. base.
We're in southern Turkey, which borders both Syria and Iraq. Now, this neighborhood is called Anadolu. It's home to a community of refugees, many living in poverty. They know the toll of regional war all too well.
We met 12-year-old Fouad, who wants to be a police officer. His 12-year-old friend Hassan wants to be a singer. Each of their families fled war in Syria. They tell us that it feels like danger has followed them since the day they were born. We are worried because it feels like everyone is dying, says young Fouad.
Do you have any hope to go back to Syria?
The country is our country, says Hassan. When the war is over, we will return. Though when that will be possible is anyone's guess.
Are you worried for future generations in this region?
Yes, we are worried, says this elder. The war is feeding the rich. The powerful are having their way while people die.
And tonight, multiple reports citing American officials who say Russia is now providing Iran with location intelligence to target U.S. assets in the Middle East. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Adana, Turkey.
All right, it's time now to take a first look at the weather tonight. We're going on location for that this evening. Ashley Bacon live at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. Of course, Rangers game night, Sioux Greyhounds in town. And tonight, Ash, the team is marking International Women's Day as well, which is coming up this weekend. Lots going on there.
That's right, Tony. It's a celebration of all the women who...
Okay.
Our fans are just starting to get into the arena now, but we're also here with Bounce Radio's Angie Hill. Angie, hey. Hello. Now, of course, you guys ran a contest to get some fans in the building tonight, right. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you know what? It's super easy. All you have to do is check out our website. It's bounce995.ca. There's various things that go on there, and a lot of the time, you can win your way to these Rangers games.
Now, of course, we're here to celebrate International Women's Day.
Yeah.
You know, working in radio and media, as well as, you know, we're in a sports arena. What does it mean to you to, you know, be a woman in your field and all the changes you've seen over the last few decades?
You know what? It comes down to, I think, respect and knowing that you can do the job and you do the job well. And I don't really think it is a, you know, a male-female thing anymore, Ashley. It's who can do the job and who can do the job the best. That's the way I've always felt about it.
Absolutely. And let's talk about, you know, young women that are at home, maybe watching us tonight. What kind of advice do you have for them who are, you know, maybe thinking about their career goals, their personal life goals?
You know what? You just find something that you love and you become the very best at that thing that you love, and all the pieces just come together. I know everybody says that and it's like, oh, that's not, it is true. It is very true. I'm living proof of that.
And what's your favorite part of your career?
My favorite part of my career is meeting the people and, of course, you know, entertaining people all the time. And I'm not going to lie, I might use Bounce 99.5 The Morning Show with me and Sarge as a little bit of therapy.
It's a way to get out your frustrations on air.
Yes, yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Oh, that's wonderful. And let's talk about, just quickly, you know, with regards to your fans that are here tonight.
Yeah.
Was there a big push to get women in the building, or was it just sort of all the listeners are available to come through?
They're always, always, always available. And you know what? It is a lot of sons saying, I'd just love to take my mom out for a Friday night, or my mom has never been to a game, and, you know, my wife has never been to a game. I just would like to get out for one night with her. And this is kind of what that's all about. So that's kind of cool.
Awesome. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we've got some weather to talk about. Let's get right into it. Let's take a start with our Environment Canada warnings. notice board. There is a rainfall warning in effect for Waterloo Region and beyond, all of that blue zone tonight. Friday through to Saturday evening, 15 to 40 millimeters of rain is expected. Higher amounts are possible due to thunderstorms. Of course, with the melting snow that we're going to have on top of the rain could create some flooding conditions. So do please be careful if you're out near riverbeds or, of course, they're in the low-lying area. As we look at our radar, that's the system that's pushing through. Now, that's going to continue, as I said, throughout Saturday and into early Sunday morning. Right now in Waterloo Region, sitting at 0 degrees, easterly winds at 9 kilometers an hour, but those temperatures are actually expected to rise overnight. So we are going to see some rising temperatures as that rainfall begins to come into play. But right now, Tony, the focus is here on the game, getting to the fans, and hopefully we can meet some of them in the next hour or so. But right now, it's just picking up. It's warmer out here and drier in here than it is outside tonight.
It sure is. Ash, I don't think you can hear it on the roof at the Odd, but the rain is absolutely pounding our roof here at the studio right now. So that warning, very timely, and we'll hear more from you about it a little bit later. Ash, thanks so much from the Odd tonight. A controversial comedian scheduled to perform at Elements nightclub in Kitchener this Saturday will no longer be taking the stage there. A representative for Ben Bankus tells CTV News the venue canceled the shows. Here with more tonight, Krista.
Well, Tony, as we've reported before, some people in the community have been calling for the shows to be canceled. But until yesterday, it appeared they would indeed go ahead. Then we learned late in the evening the shows have been canceled just 2 days before they were supposed to happen.
Bought the tickets back in December. I was really excited to go. They sold out pretty quick.
It was Friday morning when ticket holders for Ben Banka's shows were told the event at Elements was canceled, with refunds being issued instead.
I was disappointed. I've been waiting months.
I spent my entire day just refreshing my feed.
Bankas is known to make jokes about the 2S LGBTQIA+ community, immigrants, diversity, and residential schools. He's mocked the death of Renee Good, who was shot in Minnesota by an ICE agent. Originally, the shows were to be held at Conrad Center for the Performing Arts, a city-run venue. Then, last month, amid criticism, the shows were moved to another venue down the street, Elements nightclub. A number of concerned residents and community groups planned to protest outside the venue Saturday afternoon had the performances gone ahead.
We had a great celebration last night. The excitement was palpable with the what ended up being several groups of people who really got together and pushed for this to become what it became, which was the cancellation, which was our ultimate goal.
I think it's kind of a slippery slope when you say something doesn't belong in your town. This was an agreed upon event that had a ticket price. We're adults who bought these tickets.
Jesse Eckstein planned on attending the show Saturday.
If you don't like something, you don't have to go to it, or you don't have to patronize it, but you don't need to necessarily ruin other people's good times or what other people could consider as a good time.
Bankas was supposed to perform 2 shows here on Saturday. His website said both were sold out. A representative for Bankas tells CTV he has thousands of fans in Kitchener and is disappointed not to be able to perform for them this weekend, adding he's done shows in the area in the past. And to those who accuse him of hate speech, his representatives say satire and humor laws in Canada fully cover making satirical comments about current events and other sensitive subjects.
Just because something isn't illegal doesn't mean it's not immoral. It doesn't mean that it's not hate speech. It just means that it is not legally considered hate speech.
Queer Youth Defence helped organize a campaign to send messages to Elements and its parent company calling for the cancellation. Other venues in other cities have also canceled Banka's shows. Sarah Walker says concerned citizens in Kitchener will continue to push for more to do the same.
We set out for a goal, we accomplished that goal, and we're going to continue going on and trying to accomplish the same goal in all Canadian cities that he has intent to play at.
This isn't something that is only happening in America. These hateful ideologies propping up, and that we as a community in Kitchener, Waterloo, need to be prepared for more acts like this to come through.
Natasha Hamilton still hopes to go to a Ben Bankus show at some point, saying some people find Bankus funny, even while others do not.
You have every right to stand out and protest. I personally believe some comedy does touch on many topics that all sorts of people could find offensive, and I believe Ben Bankus does it in a very comedic tone on even some of the offensive things that he says.
We asked Banka's representative about whether the show might be rescheduled at some point, and we're told sometime in the future he will be back in the area to play for his thousands of fans. We reached out to Elements numerous times for comment, but have not heard back. Tony.
Okay, Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson reporting. Sign up for the CTV Kitchener newsletter to stay in the know. We've got the day's top stories, the latest forecast, and some must-see videos all hitting your inbox first thing in the morning. You can sign up at ctvnewskitchener.ca. In Brantford today, a call for tougher sentences for drug dealers. CTV's Spencer Turcott hears from those who've lost loved ones to overdoses about why they gathered today to send a message.
Well, it's a rainy night outside, and it's going to be a rainy Saturday ahead, but will the weekend be a washout? Those details with your full weather forecast coming up later in the show. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
Premier Doug Ford is floating an unconventional idea for the site of a new convention center. He is suggesting that filling in a portion of Lake Ontario could be the perfect place to build a 2 million square foot facility. CTV's Siobhan Morris reports.
It's icy and unforgiving this time of year. But this part of Lake Ontario, west of Ontario Place, has been on the Premier's mind. A possible home for a new convention center.
Well, I wouldn't call it an island, but we may look at putting fill in until we can put a convention center. We're losing out on so many large conventions in the world because we just don't have the size, and it's a dated convention.
Doug Ford first started publicly griping about the 40-year-old Metro Toronto Convention Center last week.
You go up, you go down, you go across the street to the other building.
Promising a 2 million square foot facility. That's almost 5 times the size of the current convention center. Ford's also said to be looking at the exhibition grounds as a possible option. But he does envision something that will evoke shock and awe.
The environmental process would move forward, but we have a tremendous amount of fill right now, and we need to expand the land.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Mayor Olivia Chow writes in part that she's prepared to work with the province if they plan to invest in upgrading the convention center to attract more visitors and more business, and that any major development proposal will be reviewed to ensure it's in the best interest of Toronto and communities along the waterfront. They have not yet received a formal proposal on the future of the convention center. A convention center on Lake Ontario, quickly panned by the opposition, who say students and schools are struggling.
And yet he's got $3 billion or whatever it's going to cost to build a convention center. So the question is, where's the money coming from and what are his priorities?
The Green leader calls the idea ridiculous.
Literally take waste fill soil, dump it into Lake Ontario, to build some mega convention center at the cost of billions of dollars. I mean, to me, this just seems like a premier that is completely out of touch of the daily reality of everyday people in this province who are struggling just to get through the end of the month.
Whether it's on Lake Ontario, at the exhibition grounds, or somewhere else, it could be a while before we see a formal proposal for that new convention center. Planning and construction would also take years. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Families who've lost loved ones to the opioid crisis gathered at the courthouse in Brantford today, demanding harsher sentences for drug dealers. The protest comes on what's known as Black Balloon Day, a day to honor lives lost to overdose. CTV's Spencer Turcott reports.
A bundle of black balloons represent loved ones lost to overdose.
The justice system needs to be aware of exactly how many people we're losing in Brantford here alone.
Grand Erie Public Health issued an alert in February after 10 suspected drug-related deaths over a one-month period. 5 of the deaths were in Brantford Brant. Krista Cabral was a familiar face at the Brantford courthouse on Friday. CTV News met her a couple of years ago after her daughter Brittany died of an overdose. Cabral is now demanding harsher sentences for drug dealers.
They're letting drug dealers out on bail to walk the streets to continue doing what they've been doing and harming more people.
Paolo Donola had to deal with the death of his son Aaron, who went down the dark path of addiction.
It was probably the worst thing I've ever had to do.
He wants addicts treated with more compassion from healthcare providers and police officers.
Nobody wanted to really help. I want to see them being treated like humans because everybody's got a story.
Someone's story we've shared before is Bernice Liverance. Her son Corey died of a fentanyl overdose. She's using this opportunity to educate.
We want the stigma gone. Fentanyl doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter what background you're from.
While the group of affected families weren't allowed inside the courthouse, they hope their message is heard. An emailed statement to CTV News from Brantford Police says in part, "We support efforts that increase public awareness about overdose risks and the availability of naloxone." Meanwhile, Ontario's Ministry of Health tells CTV News they have invested hundreds of millions of dollars into the new heart hubs for treatment and recovery, along with 500 new addiction recovery beds and over 1,200 supportive housing units being built across the province. As for the possibility of harsher penalties in the future for drug dealers, we didn't get a definitive answer from the federal government after being redirected through a couple branches. But a spokesperson for the Office of the Minister of Health did say our government is taking action to fight the toxic drug crisis, better protect our communities, and improve access to treatment and essential services. But until these families from Brant County and beyond see actual change, they won't stay quiet.
We are here and we're not going away.
Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Brantford.
Okay, a live look toward King Street in Kitchener from our tower camera, and this is about all we can see right now. Visibility is very low because we've got heavy rain mixed with some fog across the region and a temperature that is hovering right around the freezing mark, just above freezing. Ashley's back in just a couple of minutes to tell us how the weekend weather is looking. And also coming up, we're keeping an eye on the road to the OHL playoffs. Tonight, a recent addition to the Kitchener Rangers lineup on this week's edition of Beyond the Bench. But next, the Prime Minister is in Japan, rounding out his push to get more international trade deals carved out. We'll find out what happened on this final stop of the overseas tour next. Well, Ashley's back with weather on the road now from the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. And Ash, International Women's Day coming up this weekend. The Rangers giving Matt a nod tonight at the home game, and they're highlighting the contributions of women within their organization.
That's right, Tony. It's all about the women who support the team in all various forms. Well, whether you're a billet mom or a mom of a member of the organization, or of course, just a member of the organization working behind the scenes, as we saw earlier with Angie, just celebrating women in the industry. Now, earlier today, I caught up with Chantel, who is the Games Operations Director, and she had some really wonderful things to say about working for the Kitchener Rangers organization. Check it out. I'm with Chantel, who's the Games Operation and Retail Manager for the Kitchener Rangers. Chantel, tell me a little bit about what it's like being a woman working for the organization.
I'm very fortunate and lucky to have such an organization that backs women and supports them no matter what the idea is. We could do something super crazy and they'll be like, no, absolutely. There's so much support in the back end of things like a lot of people don't see, but I'm so thankful that the Rangers organization as a whole is so supportive, from hockey ops to business ops. There's no hesitation or awkwardness that I have.
Now, of course, we've seen a rise in women's sports, not just in hockey, but in other leagues. Tell me a little bit about how that has maybe influenced your time here with the Rangers.
I think just showing up and being who I am authentically myself is just showing young girls out there that they can do what I can do. And again, representation matters. If a little girl is staring at the TV and they see a female coach or a female official, they can look at the TV and say, hey, I want to do that. And that right there just shows that's already moved miles.
Lastly, quickly, with in regards to just advice to young girls at home who might be watching, who might want to, join a team or join an organization behind the scenes, what's your advice to them?
Say, show up for yourself. You know who you are. Take accountability. There's no one that knows you more than yourself. And if you have that passion and drive, you can do anything you want.
That's awesome. Thank you, Chantel.
Thank you.
Okay, and we've got lots of weather to talk about tonight. Let's get right into it with Environment Canada's yellow warning rainfall for Friday through to Saturday evening. 15 to 40 millimeters of rain is expected. Higher amounts possible due to thunderstorms combined with snow melt that could cause some flooding concerns. So please do take care. Environment Canada also just issuing a fog warning for Waterloo Region. So it is going to be very foggy for the next few hours, near zero visibility in some areas. So do take care if you're out on the roads. As we turn to our futurecast, you can see there is that band of precipitation that will move through overnight. We may see some thunderstorm activity through the overnight hours as that moves through. We're going to see some heavier downfalls in the late morning hours and into Saturday afternoon as well. So it is going to be a relatively long event through most of the day, Saturday and into Sunday. The good news is Sunday is looking like the day of the weekend with some nice weather ahead. Right now in Waterloo Region, we're sitting at 0, so right at that freezing mark. Overnight, we're expected to actually rise in temperature to 3 degrees. Around 15 millimeters of rain is expected through the overnight hours, and then the additional amounts through Saturday. So this is, again, going to be a long storm. The majority of the rain won't really hit our region until after midnight. It's the fog that we have to worry about in the meantime. Tomorrow, although rainy, it will be very warm. A daytime high of 14 is expected. Looking at our almanac, back in 1948, our overnight low was minus 26.7. So by comparison, 3 degrees is a walk in the park. It will feel like spring. The great news is, as we take a look at our 7-day forecast, look at Sunday, Monday. 9 for Sunday, an overnight low of just 2 degrees. 14 for Monday, though. That's really going to feel like spring, even though we're still a couple of weeks left in winter. 8 degrees for Tuesday and Wednesday, with showers making a return. Similar conditions in Lambton, Kent, Essex. Risk of thunderstorms for your Saturday, a high of 18 degrees. The sun making an appearance for Sunday and Monday. 11 on Sunday, 18 for Monday, with showers expected to make a return for your Tuesday and Wednesday. So not too bad. Once again, considering it is still winter. In southern Georgian Bay, rainy conditions for your Saturday, a high of 11. Look at the overnight temperatures, though. Expected to dip down to -1, so that may cause some freezing conditions, some slippery ice conditions, so do take care if you're out in the early hours of Sunday morning. By Sunday, however, a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 8 degrees. Monday, similar conditions, but even warmer. 11 degrees is expected there. Tuesday, cloudy and 6. So, Tony, overall, we are still in winter, but we're expecting some pretty decent temperatures over the next few days. We just got to get through a little bit of a rainstorm ahead of time. Tony.
Yeah, that's a rainstorm is definitely what we're hearing and feeling right now, Ash. It is a classic March night. We'll see you a little bit later. Thanks so much. Prime Minister Mark Carney's wrapping up his 9-day trip around the world, signing a new partnership with Japan. But Canada's upcoming review of its free trade deal with the U.S. could be a factor. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports from Tokyo.
Japan welcomed Prime Minister Mark Carney with "O Canada," while Carney offered up some Japanese. Like in India and Australia, the Prime Minister is trying to show the Indo-Pacific Canada has what the world wants. In Japan, that's Canada's energy, especially LNG, and food.
We do much, but we're ready to do much more. And that's a common theme of our government. So my government was elected with a clear mandate to build boldly with a speed not seen in generations.
Canada and Japan announced a new strategic partnership boosting trade, energy, and defense.
We need to be doing a lot more with Japan and with Korea when it comes to understanding the threat from China and Russia to Canada's, basically Canada's western part of our Arctic.
is very important part of the calculation.
But nearly 3/4 of cars made in Canada are Japanese, providing thousands of Canadian jobs. And Japan is watching the review of the Canada-US-Mexico Free Trade Agreement closely.
I think that is the critical condition. Because Canada is, of course, a G7 country. Your GDP is one of the top 10 countries, $2.5 trillion. But you know the size of the U.S. market, $30 trillion.
I think the Prime Minister laid out this evening during his meeting with Prime Minister Takaichi that Canada is in a pretty solid position. Of course, the negotiations will start formally with the United States in the weeks and months ahead.
The Prime Minister has a host of business meetings Saturday, including with some of the big Japanese automakers. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Tokyo.
Coming up, a call to protect what some foodies may consider a national treasure. Just ahead, what is poutine without cheese curds? The call from producers in Quebec that Ontario is watching closely. Poutine is one of Canada's most beloved comfort foods. French fries, gravy, and of course, cheese curds. But now the curds are causing controversy. Quebec producers want special protection for their curds, and some cheesemakers in Ontario are taking note. CTV's Josh Morano has more.
At St. Albert Cheese, just east of Ottawa, bags of fresh cheese curds are flying off the shelves.
It's these cheese curds I love.
For Dave Veldstra, it's a tasty tradition. His yearly trip to the region isn't complete without this one purchase.
We're down from London, and every time we're down here, we stop here to pick up the fresh cheese curds.
But the iconic squeaky cheese that has people lining up is now at the center of a debate over poutine's key ingredient.
It's a good news because everybody's talking about cheese curds and poutine, so that's good.
Quebec dairy producers want special acknowledgement. They are pushing for a protected geographical indication, recognizing Quebec curds as the traditional ingredient tied to poutine, similar to how only sparkling wine from France's Champagne region can be called champagne.
Cheese curd is part that when you do cheddar, when you cut the cheddar slab itself, it's making a curds. So curds was not invented by Quebec, so it should not be only known in Quebec.
But for Eric Lafontaine, Director General of St. Albert Cheese, the proposed idea doesn't cut it.
It's not fair that it's only going to be a control name in Quebec and not the rest of Canada when the rest of Canada has been doing that product for a long time.
Some say where the curds originate isn't their main concern.
If it comes in Ontario or anywhere in Canada, and if you like the product, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Lafontaine says his biggest worry is how the label could dampen long-term sales worldwide.
It's the longer term that we're more concerned because they want to export that poutine name everywhere else in the world. And for us, we think that St. Albert should be part of it because we're the biggest one and the oldest one.
And the best, according to Veldstra. He'll continue to buy his cheese from St. Albert.
Just the freshness and squeakiness of them isn't like any other.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
Okay, recapping our top stories now. Colton Weens in studio with us with all the details, including a comedy show that was supposed to be happening in Kitchener now has been canceled.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. Comedian Ben Bankus will no longer be performing at Elements nightclub in Kitchener. A representative for the comedian says the venue canceled the sold-out shows for this weekend. It's after the comedian has received some backlash recently for jokes made about marginalized groups. He already moved the shows from the Conrad Centre, but will no longer perform in Kitchener this weekend. Also, drivers are feeling the squeeze when filling up their tanks. Since Tuesday, gas prices in Waterloo Region have risen by 18 cents a litre, and experts predict the price will keep going up as tensions keep escalating in the Middle East.
And another story we're keeping an eye on online, Colton. We were hearing from people still today who were saying that the rollout of the region's new waste collection program had still left them without collection. And I guess the region is saying it's going to have to work on the weekend to finish it all.
Yes, it's been the talk of the town all week this week with the new cart-based system rolling out. And now that it's out, there's been some hiccups so far, and many residents reporting their garbage has not been picked up. The region says it's trying to catch up and will be collecting tomorrow, but won't be out again Sunday or Monday. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Very much a news you can use update on there. Colton, thank you so much. Waterloo Region's restaurant food safety is coming into focus ahead of a regional council meeting next week. An annual report from Public Health shows more restaurants are open and more inspections are happening, but there were fewer complaints and fewer tickets for infractions. CTV's Karis Mapp has more on the questions that is raising about the system.
The annual report card on Waterloo Region's food establishments is in.
It's a summary of the activities based on Public Health continues to maintain a comprehensive food safety program with the goal of preventing and reducing the incidence of foodborne illness.
The 2025 report from Public Health noting there were more than 3,700 food spots in the region, 100 more than the year before, which is a surprise to one expert.
The restaurant business has really been hit, and the general trend is down, as in a number of restaurants are closing due to the sort of disruption. So the fact it's going up is positive for the catering industry and the hospitality industry in general.
More options and, according to the report, fewer tickets for infractions. Out of 6,700 inspections last year, 57 tickets were handed out compared to 96 the year before.
Our goal is to reach compliance without enforcement. We really want to work with the operators.
And in 2025, 24 closures were ordered.
Closure orders are it's not a last resort, but the conditions that have to exist for a closure order is an immediate health risk, an immediate health hazard.
Experts say a system that involves scheduled inspections isn't perfect.
Given the fact they've had time to prepare for this sort of scheduled inspection and the safety training.
And though the region publishes all of the findings on its Check It website, Keith Warner wonders if that's enough.
Who goes to a website when they go into a restaurant? I certainly don't.
And adds, in the age of social media, it may be tempting to name and shame, but it's more critical to let health authorities know.
It's important to report to the public health, because without that, somebody else will maybe suffer later on.
A chance that nobody wants to take. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
Let the Paralympic Games begin. We are off to Milan for the kickoff of the international competition. Next. The 2026 Paralympic Winter Games are officially underway in Italy, with the opening ceremony unfolding this afternoon. Plenty of Canadian athletes competing for medals, including the country's sledge hockey team, predicting another Canada-U.S. showdown. CTV's John Venevali Rao on the athletes going for gold.
After a torch relay that saw the Paralympic flame carried across Italy, it finally made its way to the opening ceremony, where athletes from 50 countries gathered inside the iconic Verona Arena for a display celebrating the start of the 14th Paralympic Games. That'll see 50 Canadians compete, including Tyler Turner, who lost both legs below the knee because of a skydiving accident. He'll take part in para snowboarding after winning Canada's first gold in the sport 4 years ago.
I can't wait. I mean, I've been ready for this for so long. It's a long wait for this one moment to go put everything on the line, and I cannot wait for that moment to come.
Greatness doesn't start in the spotlight. It starts on local trails after school.
As shown in this promotional video, the athletes have been training hard to compete in all sorts of events, including wheelchair curling and para-skiing. With Saskatchewan's Brittany Hudak a top medal hope, an inspiration to others, she's at her 4th Paralympic Games. And when it comes to sledge hockey, the Canadian team predicts they'll again battle Team USA for the gold after winning silver at the last 2 games. The team is being led by Ontario's Tyler McGregor, who lost a leg to a type of bone cancer.
I think for us to be able to represent our sport on the global stage and inspire the next young kid who may be missing a leg or has a disability to maybe dream of one day doing the same, I think that's what success looks like.
Serving as honorary captain for the Paralympic team, 6-time para-skiing medalist Mac Marcoux.
I think across all 5 sports, we have a lot of athletes to keep your eye on. It's almost one of those things you can't look away because you might miss something incredible.
With new heroes and new stories set to emerge over the next 9 days of competition. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Kitchener Rangers forward Gabe Sherratt was recently traded to the club from the Brampton Steelheads. The 3-year veteran in this league tells us what it's like to play in Kitchener in this week's edition of Beyond the Bench.
As nice move showed here by Bilecki. Bilecki will drive down low. Bilecki one-handed out in front, score! And there it is, Gabe Sherratt.
My name's Gabe Sherratt. I play forward, and this is my 3rd year in the league.
Sherratt takes the cross check, but the tally as well.
My physicality and work ethic kind of takes me away from other players and separates me from them.
Puck finds its way here for Prentice.
Fans are great. They really help with shifting momentum in the game, and it's always fun when they're pretty loud. So. I like to model my game after Zach Hyman.
And Donofsky left circle. Slight hesitation and they score.
I just like the way he plays, how he gets to the net, his work along the boards and just how hard he works.
It's all movement high.
Okay, and we'll have more news in just a moment. First, let's check in with Ashley. And Ashley, the rain sounding like it is about to come right through our roof here again.
Well, it sounds like, Tony, I'm in the right spot inside here at the Odd. The puck drop is just over 10 minutes away against the Sioux Greyhounds and Kitchener Rangers. What will tomorrow look like, whether it's rain or shine? We know it's going to be rain, but just how bad will it be in the morning? I'll have those details coming up. Stay with us. Start your night off with E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory, then Happy's Place at 8, then Stumble at 8:30, followed by Battle of the Generations, and cap your night off with Boston Blue at 10.
Tonight, an emotional homecoming for Canadians fleeing the Middle East.
It was a bit scary, but it's okay. As long as we're back, we're happy.
Plus, what ultimatum Donald Trump delivered to Iran. Later on CTV National News and Watch on Crave.
99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
And Colton's back with a story that we are watching for later tonight. Colton?
Tony, a multi-million-dollar waterfront development that's meant to transform Port Elgin's beachfront could be coming to an end. And that's before it really ever got started. After years of showing support for the private beachfront commercial development, the town of Saugeen Shores is now threatening to pull the plug on it as they say some construction deadlines have been missed. We'll have all the details tonight. Tony?
Colton, sounds good. Have a great weekend, and let's head back down to the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. Ashley Bacon with our final look at the weather as the Rangers get set to host the Sioux Greyhounds in, well, just a few minutes, Ash.
You got it, Tony. And as you said, we got to talk about the rain because it's pounding down in some areas, but it's not quite going to come down for most of Waterloo Region until after midnight. Let's take a look at the alerts board again really quick. 15 to 40 millimeters of rain expected. High amounts of possible with thunderstorms that are expected. It is loud in here. Gosh, the puck is about to drop here. We are looking at more rain coming through Saturday. So just to reiterate, we're going to see this weather event continue through most of Saturday and into Sunday. So it will be a messy one on the roads tomorrow. But right now, we are looking at around 13 degrees by 8 a.m. tomorrow and a risk of thunderstorms. So not so bad. But right now, here in the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, we've got a message, don't we, for the Kitchener Rangers, a really important one. What is that?
Go Rangers, go!
There you go. Go Rangers, go. What better way to spend a Friday night?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite player?
Cameron Reid.
There you go, Cameron Reid. How many goals is Cameron Reid going to get tonight?
2
goals, Tony. You heard it first. There you are.
I love it. We've got the prediction. Okay, Ash, thank you very much. That's going to be a good game, of course, because the Rangers, holding on to that lead in the OHL West, playoff bound. Everyone's excited about 2.5 weeks from now. So we'll keep an eye on that game tonight and find out how it all shapes up. Ash, have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
All right. And that is going to do it for us on this Friday night. Thanks for tuning in. So coming up at 11:30, in addition to that story Colt was mentioning, of course, we'll have highlights from the Rangers game. And we're also keeping an eye on the other games around the league, too, because, Kitchener, best in the West, but the Brantford Bulldogs, best in the East right now. So a lot on the line here in the next couple of weeks when it comes to seeding in the playoffs. And we'll be keeping an eye on that for you as we head toward the beginning of the OHL postseason. In the meantime, you can check out our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca, for news anytime, and we'll be back here right after the CTV National News later tonight. Take care and have a great weekend.
There we go. I'm pulling away, Ash.